Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Luke and here on this channel I talk about fragrances. In today's video I'll review one of my absolute favourite classic vanilla fragrances. I'm talking about Cašmir from Chopard. It was launched in 1992 and it was truly groundbreaking. Back then this wasn't a cheapie. This was actually sold in department stores. You had to pay a pretty penny to buy a bottle of Cašmir. This was definitely not an affordable fragrance that you could buy on the grey market like today, but it was very influential and groundbreaking. The nose behind it was Micallef, and he has lots of other iconic fragrances in his repertoire. Fahrenheit from Dior, Chloe, the Eau de Parfum. He also did a bunch of fragrances for Bottega Veneta, among others. He has many fragrances for Bond No. 9. He is a master perfumer, and what can I say? This fragrance is indeed a masterpiece. Yes, it's sweet. It can be a bit plasticky smelling, but I consider this a masterpiece. I went through bottles and bottles of this. I just bought a new bottle. This one has to be my 5th or even 6th bottle. I lost count. This fragrance is just gorgeous. So let's talk about the notes a bit and the accords, and then I'll tell you about the performance. So Cašmir from Chopard is a vintage smelling 90s style vanilla scent with fruity and balsamic touches. So don't expect this to be a modern smelling vanilla. No, this is a classic vanilla. It's similar to Vanilla Fields and Chopard from the House of Rochas. So if you love those 80s and 90s vanilla fragrances and body sprays, this is for you because this has that plasticky sweet vanilla. It's not the most expensive smelling fragrance, but it's very warm, it's rich, sweet, oriental, and comforting. It really smells beautiful in the air and it leaves a nice trail. It's a great performer, I have to say. Even this newer version, it really performs on my skin. Maybe it doesn't smell exactly the same as my first bottle. I've noticed that this one is a bit more fruity and a bit sweeter, a bit less balsamic, but that's probably just because it hasn't macerated yet. So this one definitely gets better with time. So if you leave it, I only buy 30ml bottles because I absolutely hate the size of the 100ml bottle. It's just too big and too clunky. It takes up too much space on my perfume shelf. So I always buy a 30ml bottle. And here I got a gift set, which was actually cheaper than the 30ml. So I was really, really happy to have been able to buy this at such a great price. This was €17 in my local department store. You can buy it online, but in this case, it was cheaper in store. So what can I say? Cašmir is just oriental, magical. It's a fragrance, the imagery that this evokes for me, it's a fragrance from 1001 Nights. It's a fragrance from that book. It's a fragrance from the Middle East. It does have that vibe, not just the bottle. This fragrance was designed to be oriental. It was designed to evoke the Orient, the sunset, spices, vanilla, extravagance, opulence. It does evoke all of that. And some people might call that cultural appropriation. I wouldn't. I think it's artistic inspiration, and artistic inspiration is truly a great thing. Every artist has to be inspired by something. If you don't allow an artist to be inspired, well, they can only produce modern art, which is crappy in my opinion. But this is a true old school fragrance and it smells absolutely divine. Okay, so I've been talking for 4 minutes and I still haven't talked about the notes. So according to Fragrantica, this has peach, coconut, mango, bergamot and fruits in the top notes, geranium, jasmine, floral notes and lily of the valley in the mid, and then vanilla, amber, sandalwood, musk, patchouli and woodsy notes in the base notes. A couple of years ago, the notes on Fragrantica used to be different. I remember there being cinnamon, which I can smell. This is definitely a slightly spicy fragrance. It smells like a peach cobbler or a peach pie, because this is peach, vanilla, a bit of cinnamon, some balsamic notes. No balsamic notes are listed in this note breakdown, so I really don't know if Fragrantica is even reliable. I honestly don't know. This is definitely a peach, vanilla, fruity, balsamic fragrance. Very powdery, very sweet, but it has a vintage vibe, and especially in the dry down, this dries down into a balsamic scent. It does also have a tinge of coconut, just a tinge of coconut. And that balsamic dry down actually to me smells a bit masculine, a bit aftershavey, I would even say. But I do really enjoy it because it's not just straight up vanilla. It's not sweet vanilla, sweet sugary vanilla. Yes, it is sweet and even gourmand leaning, but definitely not a gourmand in the modern sense of the word. But it was influential and groundbreaking because it was one of the first 90s gourmand. This fragrance may well have influenced Hypnotic Poison and even Angel. Angel was really groundbreaking as well. It was one of the first gourmand fragrances. But by today's standards, are these fragrances really gourmand? They just have a note of peach, some vanilla. I wouldn't call this gourmand nowadays. That, so many people like smelling like a snack and all the niche companies compete. Who can release more niche fragrances? Who can release more gourmand fragrances that smell like chocolate, Dubai chocolate, pistachio, whatever. I'm not a fan of those fragrances, but I do like a sweet vanilla fragrance with a vintage vibe. And Cašmir really, ticks all the boxes. This is perfection for me. I can never be without it. And let me also tell you that this is indeed quite similar to Ylang in Gold from Micallef and Hanai Mori, another 90s fragrance. But in my opinion, this one is the best. I do like Ylang in Gold, but Cašmir to me is just a bit richer. I don't know. Ylang in Gold is a bit more soapy, more about the ylang, more tropical, fresh. Cašmir is tropical. It is tropical, I'm not going to lie, but definitely the focus is on the vanilla for sure. And it does feel oriental, magical, warm, comforting, rich, also sexy. This can be sexy, I would say. I'm wearing it now and I'm in heaven. This is a stunning fragrance. I didn't say anything about the performance. The performance is good. It's not a great performer, but it's an average performer, I would say. Especially this new version, it does project, it does last, but maybe after about 4 or 5 hours, you may want to reapply. I do reapply it. But this fragrance a couple of years ago, when I first bought it back in, I want to say 2017, it was very strong. It was much stronger. But again, if I let this one macerate, this one will probably be strong as well. So I can't really complain about the performance because of the price. The price is great. You can buy this for €17, maybe £17, probably around $17 in America as well. So let's end this video on a bit of a different note. Let's have a pop culture moment. For any the nanny fans out there, this fragrance was Fran Drescher's signature scent back in the 90s. And I'm talking about Fran Drescher, the person, not Fran Fine, the character. And I don't remember the exact story behind it, but apparently she was gifted a bottle when she was on the show. And this was her signature scent, and apparently she's been loving it ever since. And it did also appear in the series. I don't know the episode number, but it did appear on her dresser once or twice, and it did also appear on in the department store where she was selling fragrances because she had to quit her nanny job and then she was selling fragrances and cosmetics in the department store. I don't remember the exact storyline, but when I watched it, I definitely remember seeing this bottle displayed there. So whether it was paid advertising or not, I don't know. This fragrance definitely had a moment on the series as well as in Fran Drescher's personal private life. So thank you everyone for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you like this fragrance, if you have it, if you own a bottle, maybe you don't like it. Let me know. I love to chat with you in the comments. So thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.